Hello, everyone. We are very excited here to be celebrating National Mortgage Broker Day with a group of superstar broker owners and mortgage broker LOs. We're going to get started here by just making some quick introductions. Very first and foremost, Jamie Kavanaugh, if you don't mind, just kind of give everybody who are you, time in the business, experience, role within in your company, obviously a broker owner, but also a high-level overview of your business model and structure. One thing I think we want to try to accomplish today is, different people run their brokerages differently, and just, seeing who's relatable to their situation or most relatable to their situation, so they can kind of hone in on what you went through over the last several months in making your adoption arrive.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. I'm Jamie Kavanaugh, COO and partner here at AmeriFund Home Loans. We're based in California, also in Arizona. So we have a little bit of a unique model here because we have about 15 heads, but we also have an inside sales model. So we do have about half of our sales team who are inside sales, who support our company book of business. And then we also have our outside sales team who are independent LOs. So we have had to kind of adopt an LOS that will work with both models. And previously we've been using Encompass, which I know we're going to talk a little bit more about later. But Arrive has been able to do that for us. It's been able to transition us very easily into this model.
So how long have you been on the broker side of things?
This is my 24th year in the mortgage industry, and I've been back on the broker side for the last 7 years. Took a little foray into executive management on the corporate side of things.
Wow. Okay. So since you've been on Encompass the whole time, and right now, how big's your team?
About 15 people here at the company.
Got it. So that just kind of gives everybody some background. As far as you're both on sales and ops at this point. Are you specifically ops?
Sales and ops.
Awesome. All right. And now we got Amir Bali. Amir is broker owner in Michigan. Amir, tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anthony. So my name is Amir Bali. I got my license in 2012. I was about 18 years old. A kid who didn't know how to do anything. Started originating loans, started writing loans about 2.5 years ago. So I closed my first loan about 2.5 years ago. My first year in the business, I was able to be number 3 in the state of Michigan as the highest producing loan officer.
Wow.
Last year I was number 2. And this year we're going for number 1 in the state. We're about 80% purchase business. All of my business at least comes from straight referrals, just people referring me people, focused more. My business model is, we are more volume-based rather than marginal-based. So we focus more on the actual volume rather than the margin. Now, I don't say that in a sense as if we're a discount broker going quarter 25 bips on every loan lender paid. Like, no, we focus more on how can I put more money back into the consumer so the consumer can be happy, and then the consumer can refer me more clients in the future. Let me invest in my clients rather than investing in leads and outside leads, etc. So I was closing about maybe 300, 400 loans a year with Blink, just as an individual. And then I slowly transitioned into Arrive. Now I am the broker owner of the company, but now the company is growing. So within the past month and a half, we've put on 20 new team members. So the team is growing, hence my office is empty. There's nothing in here yet. So yeah, we put about 20 more people. So we just had 7 people 2 months ago. Now we're at 25. So we're growing really quick in the sense of, we're focusing on loan coordinators, loan admins, loan partners. Well, we have somebody on our team whose sole job is to focus on Arrive, right? Helping the LOs, assisting the LOs put the loans into Arrive. And then we have somebody on the processing team who's strictly focused on changing the statuses in Arrive, so everyone's on the same page. So it's great. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun. I can go on and on. But yeah, that's just a little overview.
That is super impressive. I got to be honest with you. Just kind of less than 3 years in the business, going from that to a top originator in the state of Michigan, which is a super competitive state. Just the originators are located there as their headquarters. And then right now you're starting to grow your business. So you're kind of changing directions, focusing on the origination piece to building a team and growing it. So that's awesome to hear, man.
Right.
And then we also have Lisa Lund. Lisa is industry legend, and I don't think that's an understatement. She's been a top broker owner in the state of Arizona for long time. So Lisa, your introduction precedes you, but go ahead and give it a shot.
Hi guys, I'm Lisa Lund, and we're here in Arizona. And what we kind of do is we really worked hard on building our brand, and we're very consumer direct. So we're unlike a lot of other mortgage companies where we hire individual loan officers. We kind of built our brand and built our name here. And then from there, we built a team around that. So like Jamie, we have about 13, 14 people on our team, but we don't really do a lot of outside sales. Ours is all inside team built off our brand and consumers coming to us.
So, and just kind of give everybody an overview. Your team, for the most part, you guys have been together for a pretty long time. Like it's the main players on your team, you guys have been together for an extended period of time, right?
Yes, definitely. We're family owned. Also, I work with my husband, Matt, but we have a lot of family members here. Now we're third generation. My son just started during the COVID time. So my dad started in the business, started the company in 99. I started my own in 2009. My husband and I worked together. And now we have my son here. But our team members have been with us since 2008 for a long time, which is great.
That is great. So, what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to go ahead and get into some questions really specific about ARIVE. I'll just do a quick overview. I recently started a mortgage brokerage, and we made the trip to ARIVE here over the last, I think we cut over on April 1st, which was right after the new IRLA came out. For us, my feedback on everything was, it's harder when you have a team that's using an existing system to transition. Obviously, user adoption and user behavior is always something you got to overcome. But once you break through, I think overall what we found is that customer experience, team member experience is super easy, super streamlined, and it's made a lot of our processes more trackable and more scalable. So, that's my high level view. I'm going to go ahead and kick it right into asking Amir a question here. Amir, number one, what was your LOS before you transitioned, and what was your deciding factor when it came to signing up or transitioning over to ARIVE?
Thank you, Anthony. So I was using Blink previously, so I was very, very set on Blink. Like I am all in with UWM, it's just who I am. I used to work at UWM, so I was set on Blink. Now, to anybody that's watching this from UWM, I still love Blink. Blink is still a great software, but the reason why I chose to use ARIVE is really just for a few reasons. The first reason, it sounds kind of cliche, but it's really just, it was the bandwagon where I saw like some of the greats, like, Anthony, I looked up to you a lot when I was a new loan officer, and you being so all into ARIVE, it's like, there must be something here that I'm missing. Like, why are some of the highest producing loan officers using ARIVE and I'm still using Blink? If I want to be the highest producing loan officer, then I'm going to do what these guys are doing, what Lisa's doing, what Jamie's doing, what you're doing. So I followed that. And then what kept me on ARIVE, the beginning, the transition was hard because I had so many loans in my Blink pipeline. I wasn't able to transfer them all over. So I kind of would reference them, go back and forth. But what kept me on ARIVE was the fact that everything was so customizable to where I can customize what I put on, like, for example, on the POS with ARIVE, when I send out the link to the borrower and they create a new account, sometimes I don't want the borrower to put in their assets because they're going to put in like their trucks and their gold. And it's like, we don't need that, So I'm able to uncheck that to where, Mr. Buyer, you don't have to put in your assets. But at the end, I can add a task that says upload your 2 most recent bank statements, right? Your 2 months recent. So it allows me to customize it, right? And then when I have my team, it just allows everything to be so, okay, maybe I don't have a licensed loan officer, so they don't have a UWM login. So they're not going to be able to get into Blink. Like my processors, or like my loan admin or my loan coordinators, they can't get into Blink because they need my logins. I'm trying to keep everything organized. I don't want everybody to go into the UWM website using my logins and they finagle with something and they lock a loan on accident, whatever it could have been. So it's like, I want them to be strictly set on ARIVE, right? So just allowing it to be a different web-based software. And then one of the other things is we work strictly off Apple products here in our office. Everything is Apple, everything's Macs. We text off of our computers. The whole company is built off of Apple products with Encompass and Calyx. One, just looking at them gives me a headache. I don't even know what the hell it is. And then the second thing is you can't put those on Apple products. So I was I'm like, man, I have to have a Windows laptop and my Apple. It's too much. It's not going to work. So ARIVE was just so fully customizable to whatever we wanted to do. so easy to integrate, and just all web-based. It was perfect. So
did you, as you went through that process, did you jump all in and rip the Band-Aid off, or was it one of those situations where you sort of, did a loan here, did a loan there, and transitioned slowly?
So that's a great question. Whenever I do anything, it's all in.
That was for you, Amir.
if I'm gonna change AMCs, for example, I'm all in. I'm not gonna have two AMCs. Like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it all right away, because going back and forth then causes for bumpy roads, confusion. I'm telling my clients, hey, what did your POS look like? To differentiate which one was Blink, which one was Arrive. So I went all into Arrive. There was definitely a lot of growing pains in the beginning, because some of my borrowers didn't know how to verify their email, right? Or I didn't fully update the POS to what I wanted to be. So there was definitely some growing pains in the beginning, but it was very easy to slowly transition fully into it. And the only time I ever go back to Blink is if I have a client from like 2 years ago that I don't have archived in my Arrive, pipeline. I'd have to go back to Blink and reference it. But then I'll download the 3.2 and upload it to Arrive, and now it's in Arrive. So it's good, So yeah, there was growing pains in the beginning, but 30 days we got over it. We were good. So
got it. Well, thank you for that, Jamie. As far as everything goes with your transition, you have more legacy and more team members that were used to a previous experience. So, what was the, I believe you said you were using Encompass, but what was that transition like for your brokerage from your previous LOS? And then when it comes to, amount of time it took to learn the platform and just driving, sort of the adoption and utilization, what was that all like? I know you're a super process-driven person, so give us an idea of what that looked like.
So we've learned our lesson with different systems in the past of, ripping the Band-Aid off when you've got a lot of heads and you've got a large database is not always the best for us. So what we decided to do is this. I took my lead ops person and my lead salesperson, and I said, you guys are my guinea pigs. I want you guys to go in, start running loans through Arrive, and tell me what isn't working. Let's hit the roadblocks, let's run into the walls, and let's figure out how to navigate through them and what we need to do in our workflow and how to get help from Arrive. So we did that for about 3 weeks before we started to kind of flip the switch and move everything over. During that process, overwhelmingly, the response that I kept getting from them was, something's wrong. It's too easy. It's too fast. There's too, I put something in one place and it carries through everywhere. And I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like it's going to, I'm going to realize later in the loan process that I missed a field or something. And that never happened. It never happened because Arrive is truly configured in such an intuitive way that when you put something in one place, it absolutely cascades throughout the system into all of the fields on all of the screens that it needs to be in. And so after, like I said, about 2-3 weeks of that, we had a few loans that had successfully gone all the way through the process with minimal challenges. And Arrive was very quick to help us whenever we needed support. I was pleasantly surprised to find that they made good on what they said they would. We demo lots of products and software systems as broker owners, as loan officers. You always get the pitch when you're going through those things. But what it really comes down to is, what is the experience like when you actually start using the system? And we have found the experience to be everything that we were promised and more. So as we began to flip the switch and have the other team members begin using Arrive, again, more of that same feedback. This is too easy. Something, this is going too smoothly for me. I've saved so many steps. And now all of our loans are in Arrive. Everybody is really, really thrilled. And I would say that overall, it was an excellent decision for us from an administrative standpoint. And this is big. Anybody, no matter what size your company is, I run the day-to-day of AmeriFund 100%. So from, HR to payroll to sales to ops to whatever it is, it's on me. What that means to me is that I'm also the admin for Arrive. So for whatever LOS we need to use, it has to be easy for me to navigate around. And one of the biggest challenges that we had in our previous LOS, which as you know was Encompass, was it wasn't easy for me. If I needed to tweak something out, if I came up with an idea for something that I wanted to change within our process, it wasn't easy for me at all as an administrator to go into my LOS and make that work for my company. With Arrive, I don't even have to go to ARIVE support. It is so easy for me to navigate my way around the system myself that I have virtually never had to go to them to make a quick change or to figure out how I want to customize something, because everything in ARIVE is so inherently customizable in and of itself, right out the box, the way that it was built, that it's obvious to me that it was built by somebody that does this, not by a tech team that's disconnected from the process, but by people that have actually done this job, have filled these roles. And so that alone was worth it for me to make the switch. I would highly recommend anybody that has to self-administrate the product, look at ARIVE.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. I think the major difference that I would just say from a development of the platform, as you can tell in the user experience, is it's really LO driven. And when something's super LO driven, it turns out to be a better overall platform completely, because a lot of the LOSs are built as a let's be an enterprise banking platform, and then as we get reverse engineer, we get to the LO. This platform has been built by LOs or through feedback of LOs, and everything you just said is really spot on. I guess one question I would have for you is, when it comes to your team members, has it eliminated other systems for you? Because one of the things we notice is with the notes section and the way you can communicate in ARIVE, sort of like Slack to a degree, where you can tag people. I'm wondering if that's streamlined communication at the file level.
In a big way. It used to be emails for us, which we hate emails because so much can be missed and left. The tagging is huge, and it's really nice for us because it happens that the CRM we use has a very similar tagging kind of a mechanism to it. And so it's a really nice seamless transition for us. I mean, I know that we're going to get into more detail on this later, but the amount of systems that we've consolidated by moving to ARIVE is not only amazing for us from just an efficiency perspective, but the cost perspective is really a huge savings for us.
That's excellent. That's awesome. So Lisa, just a question here for you. How does the performance between ARIVE and obviously, a very long relation with your previous LOS compare? And, internally, as a follow-up, is like, how has your customer and team member experience improved as a result of the transition?
So like any other long-term broker, we always use Calyx Point. I mean, I think everyone who was in the business before knows who that is, and that's just who your go-to was, and that's who you used. Over the years, we were looking at different technology because our team members are really great, and when you're doing a lot of volume, you need efficiency. And sometimes if your system doesn't give you that efficiency, it doesn't matter how much of a rock star you are, there's only so much you can do in a day. So we were looking, to find a system that allowed our team members who are rock stars to have that efficiency. And so like Jamie, I mean, we have a lot in common, I think, including our nail color today. We integrated it in the same way. We have a guy who was helping me with the technology portion, and we'll get into that later, where we were using many different systems as well. And I've tried out many different systems to try and help the efficiency. But we did the same thing. We took sales first and integrated it with them, made sure they understand that platform and, how it was working with the consumers, how, the application was going out, coming back, how they were collecting documents, how the communication was. It was really nice too to have it web-based, because Calyx Point, during COVID, everyone has their laptops. If someone got a new laptop, we had to come in, have my office manager download that seat and point, and it was just a mess instead of just having it web-based. So we kind of did the same thing. We had sales try it out first, work with the consumers, make sure everything was great there. They absolutely loved it. Sales loved it and was raving about it. Processing, of course, was a little bit more scared. Then we went to setup, had setup do it, and then processing. By the time I got to processing was so impressed at how little they had to do. Even things from, sending out emails, touch points to the clients, okay, you have an approval or your appraisal's been received. We used to have to use so many different systems because in Calyx, in order to send those out to the clients, it was too hard to set up, and you had no support on the back end with Calyx. Try to get a hold of someone to give you some support on how to do it is almost impossible. And moving to ARIVE, our processors were able to navigate themselves or even get help themselves or go through me, because I'm like Jamie, I do all of that as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's phenomenal. And are you currently, like, when you made the transition, were you able to completely move away from Calyx? I know some people sometimes retain a license, or was this a clean transition where you maybe held that for legacy files, but overall you're 100% in ARIVE?
So with our transition, we basically didn't move because we had so many files, we didn't move every file from point to, we basically just started every new file in ARIVE and moving forward. So we do have one seat open with point, but we don't use point. It's just there if we need a past client file. But we also do have our CRM that we have. So we're hoping to fully get rid of point, making sure that everything is in our CRM, because our CRM and ARIVE work really well together as well. Sorry, I have those. My lights are like.
Got it.
Off. I have to move for a bit.
Just wave your hands. Just wave.
Yeah, sorry. I was like, sorry about that. Energy saving over here.
So that's one of the common things I see with brokers that are considering transitioning to ARIVE. They just talk about like, hey, Encompass or Calyx, they don't exactly make it easy for you to get your data out of there, but it seems like a common strategy to keep a license, retain that database storage type of situation, and eventually work on a longer term transition plan. Shelby Elias from Sacramento, California. Shelby, we didn't get an introduction with you earlier. Do you want to do a quick introduction to everybody on your, who you are, your business, and what your technology stack was prior to ARIVE?
Sure. My name is Shelby Elias with United Wholesale Lending. We've been in the broker industry, solely broker, for almost 15 years. We have quite a few loan officers, and we were using Calyx Point for a long time, probably 10-year stretch. Didn't really know how to get away from it, but we knew that, it was time. And what we did was we converted over to Lending Pad. And that actually was not the right move for us. So we thought that Lending Pad was the way that it would help us start to integrate more of our technology and really scale. And really what we got left with was just a clunky system that seemed like it should do a little bit more, but it was really hard for our staff to make the transition. The system was still not user friendly. I would compare Lending Pad and ARIVE to maybe a Nokia cell phone to a Apple iPhone. Just as far as the interface, that's the best part for us, because it's really hard to make a change. And going from Lending Pad to ARIVE really wasn't hard. It's so user friendly. That's the number one thing that I think that our staff enjoys the most is the usability, and it's constantly getting better and better. The updates are coming, it seems like weekly, so it's great.
So Shelby, on that note, that's interesting. So you actually transitioned off Calyx, went to Lending Pad, then came over to ARIVE. So that's like it's a lot of transitioning. That's a very hard thing to pull off, but obviously I know you guys have a great support structure at your organization. So just a couple of quick questions for you and follow-up to that is like, what were some of the learning lessons that your team came across as you went through, the process of transitioning your team, not just, for ARIVE, but also Lending Pad? Like, what were the things that you didn't account for that you learned from? And also, now that you went through it, you would advise anybody that's going to go through a comparable transition.
And you're saying from Lending Pad to ARIVE, right? Yeah. Yeah.
So let's start with that.
Okay. So going from Lending Pad to ARIVE, the transition was actually, very easy. What we did was we had them implement with our team. We started off at, our build team, we call it. And we got them on board first, showed them how to use the system, onboarded them, and we onboarded each department on their own. The last being the sales guys. But the transition was very easy. Going from Point to Lending Pad, it was really hard. It seemed like it was hard to find, certain things. It was hard to get answers. You get sold one thing, but what we got was something different. And, maybe it is better than Calyx Point, but it's not better than ARIVE. So that was what we learned.
So now that you've made the transition, how is your, what's been the feedback from your team? Obviously, I know you have a lot of outside loan officers that are referral based and out in the field. So, cloud-based solution, working with your ops team, like how has this transformed into your process or into your team member experience?
So it's actually been really great. We're constantly learning to integrate more features, but one major one was just getting rid of Flowify. That's a big part of our process, our point of sale. And now we're just using everything in ARIVE, sending out the docs checklists. We've integrated some things into our workflow management, program. So the biggest part, I would say, is getting rid of Flowify, using ARIVE for our POS, having every single team member living in ARIVE, not going in and running DU anywhere else, running DU, keeping all the notes, and just managing the workflow through the team. I think that that's what they enjoy the most.
Absolutely. So Jamie, I have a couple questions and follow up to your comments earlier. I guess number one, high level, how has ARIVE helped you streamline your business or your processes? But really, I guess getting into a little bit of the more specific details. The cost difference of utilizing the password, the efficiency cost. One of the things that, like, just listening to Shelby, talk about, using Flowify, using Lending Pad, using probably some type of communication engine like Slack or something like that. Like I'm just tallying the cost per seat, and if you're actually using Loan Sifter on top of that, like that sounds like it's probably like close to $300 per user per month when I add all that up. But tell us a little bit about how it's streamlined your operations and just your overall cost and efficiency throughout the process.
You're spot on with your math, as you probably figured out. It's about right. So just off the cuff, even if I didn't start talking about the ancillary systems that ARIVE has helped us to consolidate, just LOS to LOS, 50% savings right off the bat, because of the inflated costs of Encompass and the fact that our contract was up for renewal and so forth. And then when we start to talk about consolidation, 4 systems have been consolidated into one, and very soon we will be consolidating a 5th system into one, and eliminating that. So not only are we talking about cost, talk about time efficiency, talk about having the team jumping in and out of 5 different systems to complete 5 different things throughout a day on any given file with any given customer, not having to do that. I will tell you that from the sales perspective, the overwhelming feedback has been, oh my gosh, the quoting tools in ARIVE, the things that we've been able to replace some of our previous presentation tools that we were not only paying for, but obviously needed a different login for, and then we would have to load information into that system in order to generate quotes for our customers. And the fact that that stuff is built in now to ARIVE, not only built in, but when you get into a new LOS or any new system, and whenever you're getting into something that has multiple features, you always think to yourself, gosh, I wonder how robust those features are going to be when you're getting so much bang for your buck. Surprisingly, it is very robust. So for example, when I was out shopping and demoing other products, we all know there aren't that many LOS systems for us to choose from in the market that we're in. One of the competing LOSs that I was looking at when making the decision didn't really have a point of sale that was great. In fact, they recommended that we actually use Flowify in conjunction with their system. So that didn't solve my problem. Well, when I looked at the POS that ARIVE had built into it, it was as robust as those third-party systems that I would be paying separately for and having to then import my customer documents from. It was a win. Then we get into this quoting thing and we talk about the fact that we can have everything in the system. So my customer experience, my customers love the point of sale. I don't have to transfer documents or a file into my LOS. And when I'm ready to do my quoting, my sales guys can just go right in. Everything is in there at the touch of a button, and the presentation that spits out is great. And I'm tracking everything they've done. So everything that they quoted before, if somebody else on my inside sales team needs to jump in and grab something because somebody's on vacation, they can see what was done. I mean, there's just so much forethought behind the way that the system was developed. The efficiency that is created for us is next level, and the cost savings is honestly just the cherry on top, but it is substantial. I mean, it is substantial. It is really, really, really great.
Yeah, I want to build on that and kind of send a follow-up question over to Lisa Lund here. As somebody that was using Calyx for as long as you were using it, and just how lean of a machine I know that you guys run with, how unbelievably high volume you are as an operation, I'm just interested in knowing, like, how as a business owner has it improved your month to month or day to day? Because like things like NMLS reports used to drive me insane, used to drive most broker owners insane. So I'd love to hear how these things have improved your life as a broker owner.
It's amazing. I can't tell you how many calls I would get a month from other broker owners on how are you doing this call report? How are you getting this information from Calyx? What are you doing? I mean, to tell you the truth, it was a day job to do the call reports. It was one of those things you would shake your head. And when my office manager and I came together and I showed her what ARIVE had to do the call reports, the smile on her face and the smile on my face was just amazing. Literally, all the information that you needed was right there, and you can do it in minutes compared to a full day's work. So the efficiency provided there, like Jamie, I want to touch on, said earlier, this was not made by just technology people who thought they know the mortgage world. This was done by mortgage people who are in there every day, doing this every day, and know what we need to succeed and to be efficient. And we were using so many different systems as well that we've now been able to consolidate, or you're reaching out to clients and needing docs, and someone's out of the office and they said they emailed it to one person and you can't find them, and it becomes a frustration to your clients. The number one frustration is if they sent it and now you don't have it, and they think, who are these people I'm dealing with? Well, having this web-based system that everything is in one place is amazing. I can go in literally, if no one's in the office, everyone wanted to ditch me one day, me as the owner, I could go in, take all the client calls, know where their file's at, look at the notes, see what's been done on it. And not only that, the dashboard in itself, as a broker owner, I'm able to track to see how are we doing at, today is what, the 12th of the month? What are we set to do? What are our goals? Are we meeting our goals? Are we not? The dashboard is so friendly, for users. You can track things, you can track your processors, you can pull reports so much easier than I could with Calyx Point. I mean, I think as a business owner, I was having Excel spreadsheets just to track certain things as well as Calyx. And now I'm able to run reports. I'm able to look at my dashboard. I'm able to forecast what we're going to do for the month. See where we're at, how many are approved, how many are clear to close, how many are in docs, how many are funded, as well as my loan officers. So, like I said, we consolidated a bunch of systems too, and the efficiency of it and just the simplicity of it is amazing.
Yeah, that on that note, as far as like the streamline the systems, don't forget the other part that I found, like we found super efficient, is like being able to see from the time a quote is sent, like creating an account, and then being able to see when a customer actually starts an application. Like that's opened up a whole new line of visibility in a centralized way at the LO level, which is definitely more efficient for them. But as a business owner, that like creates the ability to identify, like, hey, what do my apps look like coming into the week? What do my apps look like throughout the week? So I'm completely with you.
And where do we need to improve? What do we need to improve on our timeline too?
100% cycle time improvement, like the ability to actually see that in one user experience is super important. Shelby, I got a follow-up question for you. One of the things that has been really interesting is just lender adoption on ARIVE. It's something that I think as the industry has been super busy over the last 18 months. Everybody has kind of deprioritized technology when it comes to external resources. But the reality of the situation is the more native you're integrated with ARIVE, the more that improves the user experience and the branch experience. So for you, any feedback or guidance you'd like to share with a lender that's potentially trying to get in the door with United Wholesale Lending, your brokerage, as far as if they ask you, hey, I'm considering integrating with ARIVE, what would you tell them?
That's probably the smartest move that you can make if you want a shot at playing the game. I mean, I think that LOs love the ability to be able to price within the system. And when our LOs are in ARIVE and they can price, or, you know, maybe one of our support staff is in there in the file and they have the information right at their fingertips. If you're a lender that's not on that list, you're losing at bats. And so I love how within the system, they can price out multiple lenders. They can compare. Fee sheets are extremely fast and efficient. If they can share an open KPI, I know that United Wholesale Mortgage was in there, and that was just a phenomenal function. But I know that they're going to get there with other lenders as well. I've had some conversations with Home Point, and I know that they're going to be jumping on. So if you're a lender and you're not in there, I'd say that that needs to be on your priority list for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just up until last month, you know, like one-click AUS, single dual AUS has been something that, you know, as far as I know, only one or two of the wholesale lenders in the game have had, you know, in their platforms. And now it's available with all of our, you know, it's available for us natively, DO and LP access. So, you know, that's a big deal. But more or less, you know, one of the things that I kind of tell everybody is, you know, with the speed of the development of the platform, one of the frustrations we've had internally, but also one of the amazing things that ARIVE's doing is, like, we can't build training material for our team because they're adding functionality so quickly that we have to re-record all of our training videos. So, like, when I tell that to, you know, lenders, they're like, wow, they kind of think it's like smoke and mirrors because they're so used to bad technology companies over promising and under delivering. So I think one of the things for the broker community is being able to voice, hey, listen, the what it is and what it's being said to be is actually it's more than what people are talking about. It's a great platform now. So you know, I appreciate that feedback. I'm going to ask you a question here, Amir. You know, as a broker owner that's only been, you know, both an LO or a broker in the business for less than 3 years, you know, how has the ARIVE broker community within Facebook, the ARIVE Mortgage Brokers Facebook group, you know, been a resource to you to adopt the platform, but also to share feedback and to get answers on user functionality and you know, things that you've come across within the system?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. That's a great question. So in regards to how does the actual group and community help as a whole? So in the beginning, there was a lot of things I didn't know how to do, especially in that platform, because once again, I only knew Blink. That's all. I didn't know anything else. I had no idea how to use anything else. So when it came to having questions, like I had some questions with, man, I can't run LP, or I can't run FHA. I couldn't run VA. You know, I couldn't run the AUS to see if the clients were eligible. I'd have to put it in UWM system, or I'd have to put it in Home Point system, run it, and then see it's approved eligible, then take out the loan so it's not sitting in that lender's website. So I remember in the beginning, I would reach out just in the ARIVE Facebook group, right? I would just post a question, hey, I'm having an issue with this, right? Or, hey, I'm having an issue with that. And there were plenty of brokers, like 20, 30 brokers at the time, that were giving me answers, especially ones that were just genuinely helping. I remember in the beginning, Evan Wade, we did like a Zoom call in the beginning, and we were just on Zoom together for like 45 minutes, and he was just teaching me everything that I needed to know. Because once again, I only knew what I knew. All this extra stuff, I had no idea. You know, like the call reports. I have a compliance officer that does all that for me. So I didn't know how to do any of it. But there are so many things that you can do in there that I don't think anybody, I don't even think Harish knows everything that ARIVE does, and the guy makes it, you know? So it's like, I don't even think he has any idea. But the group was great at helping. The group was definitely great at helping, but I do just want to shout out Brianna and Harish. There are so many times where we're putting in maybe 50, 60 loans, maybe like 20, 30 loans a day in ARIVE. We're putting in a lot of loans. We have 10 LOs, so we're putting in a lot of loans in ARIVE every single day. And there's hiccups where just a couple of weeks ago, ARIVE wasn't able to pull credit reports. I don't know if any of you guys had that issue where you couldn't pull credit in ARIVE. It was just I shot a text to Brianna and with my sales manager, and boom, they gave me an answer in 5 minutes, right? And it's like, once again, I don't know anything about Calyx. I don't know anything about Encompass. So I can't truly speak on behalf of them, but I highly doubt that I could text a representative of Calyx and get an answer in 5 minutes. Like, I don't think that's a thing, you know? And then there's like the little chat box and you can put like requests in, and it's like, I know, like, to the brokers that are watching this, but like, I know I should use that, but the answer is quicker when I just reach out to Brianna, but like, it's just phenomenal. So as even if people are using ARIVE and they're not in that Facebook group, or even if people are using ARIVE and they don't have a bunch of friends in the Brokers Are Better community to help them out, it's like, you can just text Brianna, or you can just text one of these people that will help you, right? You could just do one of those things. So, yeah, man, like I really don't even know how to answer that fully without just saying that the team is phenomenal. The team is one of the reasons why I was using ARIVE. It's because they're always there to help. And I'm not just saying that just like how you said, like smoking mirrors. No, they're like there to help always. You know.
Well, I think you know better than anybody, you know, just based upon the way you run your business. Like, there's being in the weeds and knowing what's going on with your customer experience and your team member experience. I think the one thing that is very clear about the team at ARIVE and the way Harish is running things is sometimes I'm like sending him screenshots like, dude, like, get out of the Facebook group and focus on development, because he's like literally wearing 50 hats and he's great at all of them. But the reality of the situation is he's in the weeds. Like, he wants to hear his client feedback. He wants to understand why it's a pain point and how to improve it. And it's a credit to him, because that's a very tough thing to do, is to, you know, basically be the customer service desk for a whole lot of brokers that are, you know, we have high expectations and we want things done super quick. Right. So definitely a credit to him. So
sorry,
please.
I was to add to that, Anthony, I was going to say, the thing is in any company or any business or anything that any of us here, Jamie, Lisa, Shelby, you, myself, when it comes to running our company, when there's somebody that we are spending money with, right? Like, at the end of the day, ARIVE is also a business, right? They have employees, they have to make money, right? But if there's anybody from any business that periodically reaches out just to ask me, how is your service going? How is everything going? It's like, even if you're the worst platform in the world, but you care that much about how my experience is going with you, that I'm going to use you. I'm going to use you no matter what. Like, just because you genuinely care. I'm not a Lisa Lund where I'm spending $1,000 a year with you. I'm spending maybe $300 a year, but you care about how I feel. And that's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Anyways, yeah.
Agreed completely. So I'm going to ask, you know, we're coming up here on the last, I would say 10 minutes here. So I'm going to kind of go through with some rapid fire questions. You know, Jamie, you're a big leader in the broker community, very vocal, and everybody looks up to you as kind of one of the top leaders in our community. So, you know, if you were giving a recommendation to a broker owner that is on the fence here, you know, I hear a lot of people say, well, I'm used to this. You know, I don't know how much I'd gain or how much value this would be. What's your advice to that person?
My advice is, for efficiency, speed of transition and acclimation, for cost, for every reason that you can possibly imagine. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, as someone who has tried and tested just about every LOS there is, ARIVE is a great solution. It is a system built by loan officers for loan officers that truly, truly lives up to its promises and has exceeded every expectation that I have had. And I would highly recommend it. It is the easiest system to acclimate yourself and your staff to. The onboarding was days instead of weeks. And I would say that it is an excellent business decision for any LO, any brokerage of any size. I'd say do it.
That's awesome. I'm gonna hit Amir first before I get to Lisa and Shelby. Amir, as far as, you know, you're an LO. You're in the weeds. You originated 300 loans last year. You know, talk LO to LO here. What advice would you give to an LO in a broker shop not on ARIVE?
Okay. So the advice I would give is, so why do a lot of us use United Wholesale Mortgage, right? We all know they're not the best priced. Why do we use them? We use them for the sake of ease, because it's so easy to use. It's so easy to get my loan imported. It's so easy to get my docs out. It's so easy to submit the loan. The ease allows us to put more volume on the board. Ease allows me to close 500 loans a year. Ease. That's why I use ARIVE, because of the ease. So if you're a loan officer that tells me, hey, Amir, I'm only closing 100 loans a year, I want to go to 200. What are you doing? Oh, I'm using Calyx. How long is it taking you to put the loan in Calyx and then submit? Oh, it's taking me about an hour. What are you doing? What are you doing? The borrower fills out the loan on the POS and ARIVE. You set up the loan. It takes you 5 minutes. You look at the docs. You look at the statements. You run AUS. 10 minutes, you have a pre-approval. You're done. You underwrote the file. You ran AUS. You're done. Now, that's allowing your capacity to go up by almost 80%, 90%, sometimes even 100%. That's why I use ARIVE. That's why every loan officer in America should be jumping to this. Not because it's backed by brokers are better. Not because Anthony Casa uses it. You should use it because it's going to allow you to do more business. It's going to allow your life to become easier. That's why.
100%. Couldn't agree with you more. So same line of question, Lisa. I think you probably, Matt Oliver, top originator in the country, top originator in the state of Arizona. I'm sure new technology, ease of use, his habits that he had developed around originating on your old platform. I'm sure that wasn't just a snap of the fingers, let's make this cut over. How did you guys kind of communicate with about this, figure out that this was a system, and what objections did you have to overcome before you said, hey, this is the system we're going with?
I think, technology was obviously our hardest thing in this industry because we're worried about closing loans, getting everything done, that no one wants to take the time to switch over to new technology. And we tried so many others. And since we started with ARIVE, I haven't seen anything but smiles. Like I said, whether you have been in the industry forever or you want to even hire new people that haven't been in the industry, the system is simple. It's easy to learn. It's very friendly on the eyes. It's not hard. Like Calyx Point, where you're trying to go in there just through the application, the 9 pages in there, switching pages. It's simple, very simple. It's easy to look at. It's easy to train on. And there's so many tools to create efficiency. It's great.
So I'm going to finish with one question on National Mortgage Brokers Day. That's the reason why we're doing this discussion. Where are you going to be for National Mortgage Brokers Day, and how are you and your companies going to be celebrating this day and this week? I'm going to start off with Jamie.
I am most likely going to be in Michigan, and I'm probably going to be at one of the AIM happy hours. I was at one yesterday, and I might be at another. And my team's probably going to have a little happy hour here as well to celebrate National Mortgage Brokers Day. So we're excited about that. And if I'm not mistaken, National Mortgage Brokers Day is also the anniversary of your father's birthday. So happy birthday to your dad.
Yeah, it's a very, very special day for everybody. That's awesome that you're going to be in Michigan. Hopefully you're going to see this guy there. Amir, are you going to be at this happy hour?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love to talk about the world. What do you mean? No, I'll be in Michigan. I'm in Michigan. So yeah, I'll be at the happy hour. I'm going to New York. So I'm going to be, ringing the bell with Big Ish. So I'll be out there. My team's casual day. So we don't have to wear our suit and ties that day. So it's a good day. I'm sure they're going to love that. And we'll take a shot at 12. But it's a great day. We love being brokers here, man. We genuinely love what we do because stealing loans from Quicken Loans is everything for us. It's our life.
That's awesome. Lisa, let's finish with you. You've been one of the biggest advocates of the broker community. You're one of the people that was first reaching out to me at the beginning of AIM, and I'm sure the whole last 3 years has been special for you. So where are you going to be spending National Mortgage Brokers Day, and how are you and your team going to celebrate it?
Our team loves that day. Our team is, so thankful to be brokers and helping the consumers and helping our community here in Arizona. So we're going to be here in Arizona in this heat. It's pretty hot here, and we're going to be celebrating together. I know the Arizona happy hour is tonight, but we will be here, and my whole team will be celebrating.
That's awesome. Well, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to share your feedback, share this information with the broker community. I think overall, here the vision for ARIVE back when it started was, better tech. And, it took some time for us to get to this point. Thanks to Harish and his team for working so hard and staying patient with the process and believing in the broker community. Because he's, at the end of the day, Amir made a great point earlier. It's like ARIVE's a business. Harish has gone all in on this channel. A lot of the reasons why big companies like Encompass and Calyx or certain platforms don't go all in with the broker community is they don't believe in that being a model that they can actually long-term grow with. So they've gone all in on us, and obviously we're everybody that's on this call is extremely grateful for their commitment to the community. But more than anything, better tech allows us to compete at a higher level. It levels the playing field. And my belief is that over the next year, with the development roadmap that they have in front of them, that will become the leaders in technology. So happy National Mortgage Brokers Day to the broker community. Brokers are better, as we all know, and have a great day.